Om Shri Dattatreya Namaha. Om Shri Dattatreya Namaha. Om. Hey TVs, it's Psychic Bob. Well, welcome to Friday. It's Yoga Friday. And I'm sitting here meditating on one of the mystical lords of yoga, Sri Dattatreya. I have here on my altar a little travel-size deity form of Lord Dattatreya. You know, Hinduism is wonderful because they believe that God can incarnate into any form at any size. So you can literally have a small little form of your God and he will be fully present in a small thing. You can see how small this deity is compared to man. It's about maybe 3-inch high deity. But in the Hindu tradition, this has been consecrated and infused with divine power. And so Lord Dattatreya is present here. Now, I suppose I should show you some other pictures of Lord Dattatreya. This will help you to understand more about this mystical Lord of Yoga. So here are some pictures of Lord Dattatreya. The story of Lord Dattatreya is that many thousands years ago, there was a woman who prayed that she would have a connection to the gods. She prayed that the Hindu trinity, Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva, would all come to her. And so she found herself with child. And so a child was born. This child was believed to be the incarnation of Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva. Brahma is the creator god. In Hinduism, the gods have a triple-fold aspect, as do many gods around the world. Brahma is the creator, Vishnu is the preserver, and Shiva is the destroyer. And this great woman of India, whose name has been forgotten through time, prayed and asked for the gods to come to her. And so when this child was born, he was given the name of Dattatreya. And through his whole life, he was found to be a wise teacher. He taught about yoga and mysticism. He taught love of God and love of humankind. He was considered a blessed soul. As you could see in my pictures, Lord Dattatreya is oftentimes shown as having one body with 3 heads. The 3 heads represent Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva. And he has sometimes 4 or 6 arms, 2 legs, and in his hands he carries the signs of Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva. So in his one hand, you'll see in our deity form, he's holding a chakra. The chakra is a spinning disc, a spinning wheel of light. This was the sign of Lord Vishnu. In his one hand, he holds a trident, as you can see here. That is a sign of Lord Shiva. And in the other hand, he holds a lotus blossom and a holy water pot, signs of Lord Brahma. And so it is believed that the Hindu trinity, Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva, who are 3 gods, yet ultimately one god, came into the form of Lord Dattatreya. Now, when on earth Lord Dattatreya appeared as a human form, as a normal person, he became a monk at a young age and spent his life devoted to yoga and spiritual teachings. But there are those who saw Lord Dattatreya and he manifested his triple form, showing that he was the gods, Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva. Now, there are people throughout the length and breadth of India who worship Lord Dattatreya. But who Lord Dattatreya ultimately is will depend on which school of worship you follow. Though that all the people that worship Lord Dattatreya agree that he is an incarnation of Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva, there are some people who say that he's more of one god than the other. For people in the Vaishnava tradition, that's the people who worship Vishnu, they say that Dattatreya is really Vishnu. Predominantly he is Vishnu, and that Shiva and Brahma joined him in the incarnation. Now, there's also a school of Shivites. Shivites are the people who worship Lord Shiva. And the Shivites will say, well, Lord Dattatreya, because he taught yoga, he's clearly Lord Shiva's incarnation. And the other gods came to accompany Lord Shiva to help him in that incarnation. And then there are those who say, he is Lord Brahma, So basically, people will tell you different things about Lord Dattatreya. But it doesn't really matter whether you call him Vishnu, Shiva, or Brahma. They're all really connected ultimately. And Dattatreya is one god who manifests in three forms. Lord Dattatreya is considered one of the kindest and gentlest forms of God. He is pure love and sweetness and kindness, so there's no fear in worshiping him. His worship is very simple. Many people that worship him simply offer a candle to him or a light. In India, they have butter lamps or ghee lamps that they'll offer. But in the West, that's a little harder to come by. So in the West, many people offer candles. And basically, you do what's called arti to Lord Dattatreya, is you take a candle and you offer it while chanting his mantra. Okay? Om Shri Dattatreya Namaha. Om Shri Dattatreya Namaha. And you offer the light in a circle while chanting mantras in front of him. Always going clockwise, please. And then it's believed that once you offer that light, it is now a holy flame. And many people will take their hands and touch it to the flame as a sign of absorbing the heat. Feel the heat, and then they take it and they touch their third eye, requesting that they receive spiritual illumination. Some touch their physical eyes and also the crown chakra. So you'll touch your hand to the heat and then anoint your brow and your eyes with it. This is quite common. Some people take the light and then they surround their aura. They run their hand through across their body and their aura. All of these are wonderful ways to take the sacrament of light that Lord Dattatreya brings. And so if you want to worship Lord Dattatreya, I would encourage you to get a statue of him. You can actually find these statues on eBay or Etsy. Just look up Dattatreya statue. This one comes from India. It's handmade brass. Almost all of the deity forms of Lord Dattatreya are brass. They come from India. And this is beautifully made quality brass. You'll know Dattatreya because he'll have 3 heads, just so you know, to make sure you're buying the correct statue. He'll have 3 heads. Okay, he should have 6 arms, sometimes 4. Actually, this statue has 6 arms. And usually in most of the images, he has the trident staff as the first thing you'll see. Look for the holy water pot in his hand, the chakra disc in his hand. This other one, the other back arm, which I forgot to show you, has the club of Vishnu. You see, that's the one of Vishnu's symbol. So he's got symbols of Vishnu and Shiva and Brahma. And usually you'll see, as I said, he has the 3 heads. He's usually wearing flower garland. And he stands upon a lotus. Most of the images of Lord Dattatreya are all very, very similar. So you will, once you get to know the image, you study this video, you'll recognize it instantly. Because there are no other deities in Hinduism that take this form. So you will clearly say, oh wait, that is Lord Dattatreya. I know it because of his 3 heads and 6 arms. Now, as I said earlier, Lord Dattatreya is known as one of the lords of yoga. And as a swami, as a sannyasina or a monk, he traveled around India teaching the mysteries of yoga. And today I've been working on reading and practicing this book. This is one of my books that I recommend if you want to explore yoga. It's by Indra Devi. And this was a classic from 1959 called Yoga for You. And so if you wanted to study this book, it has in it exercises, and you can study the practice as daily exercises and yoga postures, as you see. But if you really want to seriously take up the study of yoga, This is a wonderful time for you to get to know Lord Dattatreya. And you can call upon him and invoke him as one of the mystic gods of yoga that will help you with your practice. Now, as I said, the worship of Lord Dattatreya is not elaborate, very simple. You can offer him just a candle. Now, like in all Hinduism, your devotion can take many forms. So you could offer Lord Dattatreya flowers and fruit and incense. Do not offer him meat. He's a vegetarian god. You can offer him, as I said, water, flowers, incense, light, cloth. He's traditionally shown wearing saffron cloth, so you could offer him some fabric as a gift for clothing. Here on my deity form, I don't know if you could see this, but he's got a red bracelet on him. I offered to him some red thread and tied a protective red bracelet on him. It's funny, even though he's a god in India, people still offer to their gods protective red bracelets. So I decided to give him a red bracelet. Because I'm traveling, I don't have an elaborate setup here for Lord Dattatreya, but I have a great love of him. And I think when I get home, I'm going to expand and do a larger altar for him and with more elaborate offerings. But again, you don't have to be elaborate. If you cannot find a statue of Lord Dattatreya that you like or that you can afford, or you just don't find one that appeals to you, you could also print out a picture of Lord Dattatreya. I'm going to put some more images of Lord Dattatreya at the end. You can also go online and search for Lord Dattatreya photos or posters. And many sites on Etsy and eBay will have pictures that you can purchase and, of Lord Dattatreya to put in your home. You can frame them, or if you get a large poster, put it on the wall. I invite you to explore Lord Dattatreya. I find his energy to be very welcoming and very gentle. He's truly a gentle God. Now, just because he's gentle doesn't mean he's not powerful, because he's the Trinity incarnate. So he's definitely powerful. For those of you from a Christian background, you may appreciate Lord Dattatreya because it's similar to the Christian Trinity of Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Well, here we have Creator, Preserver, and Destroyer. So you could think of it as the Trinity from India. So the difference is Lord Dattatreya sits in no judgment. He's not judging nor condemning. He protects you from evil, but he will guide you and protect you and love you no matter how you are, good or bad. Lord Dattatreya will embrace you if you embrace him. Well, Tubies, I hope you've enjoyed this today. I hope you've enjoyed learning about the mystical Lord Dattatreya, the Lord of Yoga. So I encourage you, continue to study him, explore him. And, if you're doing yoga, particularly spend time getting to know him, because he'll be a great help for you. He's also known to bring blessings of prosperity. And if you're trying to have a child, you can invoke Lord Dattatreya to bring a blessed child into your home. So he has a lot of good that he does in the world for people. And personally, I'm a fan of Lord Dattatreya. I love him. So I'll let you know as I work on my yoga practice, how my connection with Dattatreya goes. And as I expand my altar, I'll share it with you. Well, guys, listen, I'm going to head out of here, but I want to remind you first, don't forget there is still time to register for this Saturday's Psychic Development class. Go over to my website, PsychicBob.com, link will be below, and register today. It's only $30 for the class. It's 2-hour training in psychic development. This Saturday, we're going to cover how to see and read and interpret auras. So if you've been wondering about the energy of the aura, come out and join this Saturday's class. I'd love to see you there. I love you guys. Listen, keep it here. Make sure to help me out. Like this video, favorite it, thumbs up, and we'll see you back here tomorrow for our Saturday night seance. Oh, and by the way, for those of you who are panicking, I did not get out a video yesterday. So I ended up being very busy. I had to visit with Mom and do stuff. We had stuff we had to do. I'd take her to some errands and just do stuff. So I was tied up down here helping her. But everything's good here. And, Mom sends her greetings and love to all of you. And we'll get her in a video eventually. But I love all of you. Keep it here at Spiritual. We'll see you tomorrow. Until then, may all of you always blessed be.